I'm here at the amazing and historic Royal Burgess Golfing Society, the oldest society and club in the world. And I'm here with two of its legendary members. So, gentlemen, tell us a wee bit about the history of this fine establishment you're members of.
Well, James, I mean, I think what the great thing about the Royal Burgess and the thing that we all really take pride in here is indeed in being the oldest golfing society in the world. And we date ourselves back to 1735. The name Burgess refers to a business person and merchant, I guess, of Edinburgh. A lot of these business people got together and started playing golf on a 6-hole course over the other side of town.
Attaboy. There we go. Easy. Thrive under it, James. It is one of the grand golf clubhouses I think I've ever seen. And when you walk in, you're just hit with the history. You walk in, you see the red jackets. They've got the silverware out. The old books are on display. You can tell that they have a real respect for where they've come from, but also they're not a club that feels like they're stuck.
No, they're not.
They're a very forward-thinking club.
We are 5 miles out from the centre of town, and in 1896 people didn't have motor cars. So how did they get out here? There is a railway line came from the centre of town right along the side of the course, and if you're coming out from town, if you're coming in towards the course, from the 4th green right through to the 3rd tee and to the 1st tee, the railway line was there, and the station was adjacent to the clubhouse. And our present starter's box at the 1st tee is the old station master's cabin. And the station master had a bell outside his cabin at the starter's box, and 10 minutes before the train was due to puff back to the centre of Edinburgh, he rang the bell, and all the guys had to sup up their drink and get onto the train to come back again.
That's a super shot. Whenever I go in the world and I get into a golfing conversation and they say, you remember from there, and they say, oh, magnificent. So you then ask yourself the question, if it's magnificent, why make too much change?
If someone wanted to come here and play golf and experience the history you guys have, what should they expect from the new modern Burgess?
What is interesting is, as I say, it's a course that's just over 6,500 yards long, so it isn't long in today's terms. What we have found is that when groups have come here, they have enjoyed their golf on this course more than on any of the other courses, because this is a very fair golf course where there are no hazards of any great note off the tee. You can always get your drive away, and they can't do that on an awful lot of the open courses and the links courses. And so those that do come find it a most enjoyable experience because they can actually enjoy their golf rather than say, well, okay, I played this links course, but didn't really enjoy it very much.
Well, that could be a very friendly ricochet.
Our protection comes from our unbelievable collection of trees. You know, we have got some magnificent trees out there, and even the best of us will have at least a couple of occasions during a round where you're chipping out sideways. So you've got to manage the trees. We've also got 101 bunkers.
Something like that.
Yeah. So a well-bunkered course as well.
A lot for Parkland.
And it is almost always in absolutely magnificent and pristine condition.
Every time I've come here over the years, I've noticed how well maintained the whole place is.
It's beautiful.
It's incredible.
It's a beautiful track. It's one of the most beautiful and playable parkland courses in Scotland.
100%.
In my humble and somewhat, possibly not unbiased opinion.
Can we talk a wee bit about the golf course? What did you think?
I was impressed. As a Canadian coming to Scotland, it's going to be very difficult, especially if you've only got 1 or 2 trips over to Scotland, to get anyone away from the links, because let's be honest, that's why you're coming. But once you do get away from the links, there is some cracking golf to be had inland. As far as a parkland golf course goes, you couldn't really ask much more of it.
You couldn't ask much more of greenkeeping apart from the green sizes. The greenkeeping is immaculate. It always very well presented. Favorite holes?
I like the 2 par 3s on the front 9.
Fantastic par 3s, weren't they? They're really good par 3s.
I like it downhill par 3, 170 yards roughly, 175. A bit of a built-up green with bunkers flanking, kind of in a V shape. Really good. And then you kind of play the same hole again, par 3, similar distance. After a couple of holes, back up to relatively the same landform. The eighth, but done in a way that is asking you a little bit of a different question. And again, what we're talking about here is experience. So you get to experience one of the great clubhouses, one of the great memberships, one of the great courses, especially from a historic point of view, oldest club in the world, all in one place at one time, in one go.
And the reliability factor of the greenkeeping as well. You know you're going to have a good day out because the greenkeeping is going to be good enough. It's never going to be a problem because the club holds himself at such a high standard. So if you're going in a couple of years, it's still going to be holding itself to that standard.
Yeah, it was a really good experience, and I think just the clubhouse, the history, you package that all together. And Royal Burgess is one of those clubs that you do need to see.